2020, just going over how to put this cover on onto Patience 2. Step number one, line it up and sit the thing on top of the boat. And it is marked on the corners as well as other places. That says starboard bow right there. And place it over. There's a zipper seam goes right down the front, mast goes around that. Boom has to be placed at the correct height before this all happens, which I will get a measurement on as a final step in this thing. And the thing sits right over the boom, and it's placed. There are openings in the side for the shrouds. And check stays. Then we come around here. There is a opening in the starboard stern. There is an opening up there, which is the entrance to the thing. In the wintertime, there's a zipper goes right up that seam right up there. And then there is a seam in the back that goes over the back of the boom, goes right down. There's an opening in it, and that's where the mainstay goes, down at the bottom. And then it'd be the same thing on the port side. So step number one is place it on there and get the zippers closed on the, I believe on the sides, but it's obvious when you put it on. There are a bunch of grommets in here, and those little loops like that white thing there, I just tie a little reef knot around there. There's a whole series of them go up there. The Velcro doesn't hold it closed, it's just the series of notches. Takes a couple minutes, short pieces of line, and close the whole thing up. Once that's done, it's time to tie it down. First tie is the bow ties. And it doesn't have to be done this way, but this is the way I do it. It works every year. So the bow ties go, and they come down underneath the bow, and then they come back up the side, and they go right up to the bow cleat. Okay? So that happens on both sides. Second, I'll hold up there, series of lines, zigzag. I come from the bow cleat. Actually, what I do, just to make this a little shorter and quicker, is I tie a line. If I look at this, there's the bow corner of that. So I tie a line in a zigzag. I just loosely tie it back and forth through all the grommets along the front there. And that's just one line, or you can tie two of them, it doesn't matter. So you got a bunch of V's coming back. And then what I do is I take some lines off the starboard, off the bow cleats, and I just come up, and you can just see a couple of those kind of catch and hook on to those other lines, and that ties the whole cover out frontwards. Tension it up, just good solid hand, snug her up as hard as you possibly can. Next thing, a line comes from right here, so there's the bow, and it comes from here, zigzags up, down, over, through, and then down again, up, over, down again, up, over, and see that coming down, up, over. So it goes through. I get a V coming down every second set of holes. Okay? So I just tie one continuous line right from the front to the back of the cover through every hole, and a V coming down from every second hole. Then I take a line. And this is one where it's nice to have two people to do this. Actually, it doesn't take very long, surprisingly quick. So put a knot, grab the first V on the front here. Line goes down, comes out, over to the other side. And it grabs, and I'm going to run right around to the other side of the boat. Line comes in right across. You should be able to see them in there. There they are. As that line comes across the boat, right across there. And then I grab two V's, and it just goes through the two V's. You can see the line go through there, and then back to the other side and right down along. So there are two V's coming together each place, and that line zigzags through. And when it's a lot of lines, so I got 1, 2. Let's see, I come across once. Yeah, twice per two V's there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times I go back and forth across there, and you do that, and then just get that on reasonably, just snug, and then you can tighten it up a couple times running through with one person on both sides and snug it up, and you're good. Okay, Then we go to the back, and I just basically tie lines, a set of lines, just sort of V's. I come back down and I tie off the rails here and any hardware I can. Tie that corner down, and I tie this corner down, okay, right off over the back stairs. And then I tie a line, a set of V's along, just all I got to do now is the stern, and this is the last little bit. So I got one line that comes down and makes a set of V's down here, V, V, and I just zigzag through the holes there. It's a set of V's. Very last step, I take a long piece of line, and this is all just 1/4 inch cheapo polyprop is all I use for it. So this last line comes here, and you can see he runs right down the length of the whole boat. I'll run around the boat. And then those lines come up, and they go around the anchor roller, okay, right around the roller like that, and then it goes back on down to the other set of V's on the other side of the outdrive. And then I just crank that up, and you can kind of see that as I crank it up, it just kind of pulls up on the other stuff, and overall it puts enough tension in the thing, it sits and lasts the winter, no problem. This cover's been absolutely great. Oh yeah, one other thing, before you put this cover on, one place is right up on the handrails on the top of the Bimini. You can see there's a little patch up there. I don't know if you can see it or not in the video, but first year I didn't have, I got to put a couple pieces of styrofoam over that, make it nice and round, and I tie some towels around them, big fluffy thing, because there's a little tab there for tying lines to, and it'll chafe right through the whole thing if you're not careful. And if you want to, over the winter, you can come tighten this thing up, but I never have really particularly bothered. Maybe I should have, but it's never bothered it one little bit. This thing's been through lots of Cape Breton winter style. So that's it.